Hey guys, what you're about to see in this video is for educational purposes only. Please don't do anything stupid or illegal. I'm not going to be responsible for your actions. Thank you. Hi everyone and welcome to this tutorial. Today we'll talk about phishing attack. A phishing attack is an attack that is designed to extract information from the user using social engineering. Social engineering is a very broad term, but simply put, social engineering is getting someone to do something without them realizing what they're actually doing. And the bad guys have many ways of doing that, and many reasons. So let's get started. The first type of phishing attack is very random. The bad guy will send out a large number of emails to a large number of email accounts. Without getting into the actual numbers, most of these accounts are not active. And most spam filters will pick up those emails before they even get to the email accounts. But the rule of large numbers applies here too. Some emails will make it past the spam filters, some emails will get to inboxes, some people will open the email and a few will click on the link. If the bad guy will send enough emails, he will get enough people on the end of the rope to click on those links. So let's see what that will look like. In a generic phishing attack, the bad guy doesn't really know who he's sending the email to. So he's gonna choose a very generic message to get you to click on the link. Once you open the email, you will get some sort of message that is asking you to do something quickly and without thinking too much. It could try to create a sense of urgency. This is your boss. This is very important. I'm not paying for this. Something to get you interested in clicking as soon as possible. It could also simply beg you to do something. Please click on this link, log into your Facebook account, hit the like button, and save a child's life. It could be telling you that you deserve something, some sort of big prize, maybe even a tax return that you haven't claimed yet, and of course it can also entice you the old-fashioned way. Either way, if you are tempted and you do click on that link, you will probably get to some website, probably something familiar and very generic. Now again, in this case the bad guy doesn't really know who the recipient is, so they're gonna go for something that probably almost everyone has, like a Facebook account. In some cases people can just say I don't have a Facebook account and just close the browser. But again, as I said before, the rule of large numbers applies here. So at first glance, this actually looks like facebook.com, so automatically our brain will think, okay, this is facebook.com, without even looking at the URL or maybe just taking a quick glance at the URL if we're a bit suspicious. If we take a closer look, we'll see that it's actually not facebook.com, but something that looks like facebook.com that the bad guy has created for us. Now, a common mistake is that people think that if the website is HTTPS and there's a green padlock on the side, it means that everything is okay. That's not really the case. HTTP is just the way web browsers communicate with web servers. HTTPS means that that communication is secured. Every major reputable company today will use HTTPS. They will use SSL TLS encryption in order to make sure that the information is secured, that is encrypted from the browser to the server and back. The green padlock on the side means that there's a certificate that was issued for this website. If you click on it, you can actually get to who the owner of the website is, and if it's actually the company that you think is behind this website. But the reality is you don't need all of that to get HTTPS, and you can get something called a shared certificate. We're not going to get into that right now, but just know that a green padlock and HTTPS only means that the communication between the website and the server is secured. It doesn't necessarily mean that the right person is behind this website, and you still can't know who exactly is controlling that server. Back to our example. If we're still in the mindset of this is facebook.com, and we were socially engineered to think that we need to get into this website, we're going to put in our username and our password. Now again, we're not going to get into how this works, but most websites today don't even know what your password is. Your original password is hashed and then the hashes are compared to each other later on. We'll talk about that in a later video, but in this particular case it's pretty safe to assume that once you hit that login button, your password becomes plain text and gets to the bad guy. Once the bad guy has your password, they now have control over your account. They can log in on your behalf, which is also why it's so important to use different passwords on different websites. If you recycle the password, so can the bad guy. The more sophisticated attacks, you might get redirected to the actual website that you were trying to log into, and the bad guy will forward your username and password and log you in right away so that you won't get suspicious. Either way, they now have your information. And I hope this goes without saying, but 1234 was just an example of a very simple password. Please don't use 1234 as your password, even if you can. Let's move forward. Another type of attack is what's called a spear phishing attack. In this particular case, the bad guy won't just throw a fish hook in the water and hope for the best. It's gonna target a particular person that it knows something about. Maybe he has a lot of information about that person, maybe it's just partial information, but it's enough to create a customized email and a customized phishing attack. So again, it will start with an email, but this time the target will see something that looks more familiar. It won't just be something generic asking for a click. It could actually be their bank if the bad guy knows who they bank with. Either way, it's going to be very familiar. It's going to be very easy for the target to go ahead and click on the link inside the email. Again, a website will open, a website that may look familiar. This will look exactly like yourbank.com. But again, if we take a closer look, we'll see that the URL, the domain name, is not exactly what we think it is, and it's actually the bad guy. Like before, you fill in your information, you hit the login button, and all of your login credentials is being sent directly to the bad guy. Another type of attack is what's called whaling. Now, whaling is very similar to a spear phishing attack. The bad guy still knows who they're targeting, but this time they know it's a high value target, which may encourage them to create a more sophisticated and more customized attack than a regular spear phishing attack. Just like before, it starts off with an email. It can also lead a certain person to their bank account, but in this case it could be a CFO or a CEO. And when they click on that link, they will be forwarded not just to a regular bank account, but the corporate account, which of course makes the credentials much more valuable. Again, at first glance, it looks like the right bank, but at second glance, we can see that it's not. They put in the information, hit the login button, and that's it. All of the information will be sent to the bad guy. Now let's go ahead and look at some actual recent phishing attacks. Now I want to say at this point that I'm being careful. This is a virtual machine and I have many different ways to protect this particular environment in case I am going to click on the wrong link. So I recommend you don't try this yourself. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to OpenPhish.com. Here we can find a list of phishing URLs. Now these were already marked and branded, so it's going to be a little different. If we click on one of these, we'll probably get a warning telling us that this is a phishing website. In a regular attack, this is not supposed to happen. But again, these were already marked and branded. Let's take a quick look here. Now, as you can see, some of these are HTTP and some are HTTPS. As I said before, HTTPS does not mean that this particular site is safe. If we take a closer look at these URLs, we can see how the bad guy is trying to manipulate us into thinking that this is actually the original website. Look at this for example. Now, first of all, it's HTTPS, which makes you think that this website is secure because you're gonna get that green padlock at the top. The domain name itself is mayapple1210.com. There is a directory in this website that is paypal-service.com. But many people will think that it's actually PayPal. Let's click on it and see what happens. Now, as I said before, this was already branded as a phishing URL, so I'm getting this warning here for a deceptive site. I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to ignore the risk and move forward. But again, please don't try this yourself. And here we go. At first glance, we have PayPal, looks exactly like the PayPal login page. If I look up here, I can see paypal-service.com, there's a green padlock. Looks perfectly fine, perfectly safe. Of course, if I'm going to put in my email and my password and hit login, all the information will go to the bad guy. Let's see if we can find one more. There is one here pretending to be Office 365. I can see that by the targeted brand name. Even though the domain seems to have nothing to do with Office 365 other than some subdirectories that are named Office, but let's click on it anyway and see where it takes us. Again, I'm getting the deceptive site warning. Looks exactly like Office 365 login page. I can put here my email address. I assume that when I hit next it's going to ask for my password. And of course it will be sent directly to the bad guy. Now, a very quick look at the URL here will already tell us that there's something seriously wrong. First of all, it's HTTP, and no reputable company in today's day and age will actually use HTTP. Now, it could be that this sashimicomic.com is actually similar to some sort of company that is working with 365, and this was a part of a spear phishing attack. And if I work for a company that looks like sashimicomic.com or sound like sashimicomic.com, I might think that this is actually associated with my company. So I won't be suspicious, and I'm going to put in my information. Okay, so that's about it. Now, we haven't really discussed how to avoid phishing attacks, but I think that now that you know how a phishing attack works, you will probably know how to watch out for one. At the end of the day, you are the last line of defense. There are many security products in place to keep phishing attacks from even landing in your inbox. But the reality is that they don't work 100%. At the end of the day, the bad guy still needs you to click on that link and fill in your information. So please be careful and think twice about what you click on. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next video. Hey, if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. For more news and updates, visit tombh.com. See you next time.